प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्.
So we have to change our habits to become sattvic. We have to take to sattvika ahara, sattvika habits. So he is saying pramada alasya nidralasya pramadotham. This sukha is generated from nidra, means sleep, alasya, idleness, and pramada, inattention. They will not be attentive about anything at all. Always lying or sitting and reading newspaper and talking about either politics which he has nothing to do about it, or about depressing things that the whole world is getting polluted. See, everywhere there is a story of theft or dacoity or rape and whatnot. The world is becoming corrupt. Are you become all right. Why are you worrying so much about the world? They will always, as if the whole world's burden is put on their head. They have to correct the world, set right the world. It's a typical example of tamasika character. So, these are the three kinds of sukhas. Now see how Bhagavata beautifully describes it. The 11th skanda, the other day also I have given you some example, some reference. 11th skanda, 25th chapter, 29th verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. 11th skanda, 25th chapter, 29th shloka. He says, in Bhagavatam, always these three will be said, that Sattvika, Rajasika, Tamasika, and the fourth will be Gunatita. Bhagavatam, the shlokas are addition to that. Here in 14th chapter also it is done, but in a little suppressed manner. You go to the 14th chapter, 26th verse. Manchayo vyabhicharena, say.
Mamchayo vyabhicharena
Bhakti yogena sevate
Bhakti yogena sevate
Sagunan samatityaitan
Sagunan samatityaitan
Brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
Brahma bhuyaya kalpate.
See, this is the end of 14th chapter. So after discussing all the gunas effect, how they bind, how to get rid of it, then what is the gunatita lakshana? A person who has transcended the bondage of the gunatita means, it doesn't mean that he is in his being the three gunas will not play. Without the three gunas being present, there cannot be any existence at all. Gunatita means one who has transcended the bondages created by sattva guna, rajaguna, tamaguna. He is not under their bondage. So he has become Shuddha Sattva, we say. So after discussing all this, then he is saying that after the three guna discussion, etc., Mamcha, before that he has discussed, he has completed the Gunatita Lakshanas, just like devotees Lakshanas in 12th chapter, Jnana Lakshanas in 13th chapter. All the gunas are more or less same. Here he has discussed the Gunatita Lakshana up to the 25th verse. Saying that, he says, Mamcha yaha abhyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. One who has sevate, bhakti yogena sevate means who practices the bhakti yoga in what manner? Abhyabhicharena, one-pointed bhakti. Vyabhichara means desultory. That means sometimes I am devoted, sometimes I am not, sometimes I am practicing devotion, sometimes I am saying that may God stay a little away, let me do this. That we often say, na? Oh, कोई डिवोटी जब लड़की को शादी करवाना है, वो डोंट आस्क स्वामी जी, ही विल कैंसिल द अलायंस. वो उनको क्या पता है, वो तो सन्यासी है, वो शादी हम करवा देते हैं. एंड देन आफ्टर व्हेन द डाइवोर्स इज अबाउट टू कम, दे विल कम एंड क्राई दैट स्वामी जी क्या होगा, कुछ तो कर दीजिए. दैट ऑल दीज थिंग्स हैपन. दैट मीन्स सर्टन थिंग्स दे आर ट्राइंग टू कीप अवे फ्रॉम गॉड. दैट इज द व्यभिचारा. Abhyabhichara bhakti is that I have taken complete refuge in whatever I am doing. Say God, I have taken complete refuge in God. Refuge means ashraya in Hindi, Sanskrit ashraya bodha. Refuge in English. When I have taken complete refuge in God or Guru or whatever, how will you know that you have taken complete refuge? Tell me. Huh? There cannot be any complaint further. You cannot complain about anything, even if you don't get the food. No food is there for a few days. You cannot complain because you have taken complete refuge in God. Whatever God does, if I get killed, I will get killed. If I have to die, I will die. That is the Abhyavicharena Bhakti Yogena. When Rama kept the bow, and there was a frog below, Lakshmana pointed out that, oh brother, what have you done? The frog is dying, your bow is puncturing the frog below. Rama said that, what a fool, should you not cry? He is telling the frog that when I am pushing it down, when you are getting pain, should you not cry? So that I am not piercing you. The frog said that, oh Prabhu, whenever the snake attacks me or anything happens to me, I call Rama, Rama, Rama. When Rama is killing me, how can I call anybody else? These are stories or facts we do not know, but these are the examples. This is the meaning of Abhyabhicharini Bhakti. Abhyabhicharini Bhakti. That is undesultory Bhakti. Complete Ashraya Bodha. He cannot have any complaint at all because everything is done by God. What will he complain about? आप अपने अपने और देखिए कितना कंप्लेंट है मन में, सब खत्म करना चाहिए. सोचते हैं कि हम बहुत बड़े भक्त हैं, लेकिन मन में सारा कंप्लेंट भरा हुआ है. वो भक्ति नहीं है. भक्ति का अर्थ है सरेंडर. कैसे सरेंडर पता चलेगा? सरेंडर का अर्थ है हमें हमेशा महसूस होगा कि हम भगवान के गोद पे बैठे हुए हैं. I have, that is the refuge I have. There cannot be any complaint at all about anything. So, Mam chajo abhyavicharena bhakti yogena sevate sa gunan samatityaitan samyak atitya. He transcends all the gunas. That means bondage is created by the gunas. Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. He becomes Brahman. He attains Brahman. By what? Just by surrender. In Bhagavatam, you will find everywhere they are giving the Sattvika is this, Rajasika is this, Tamasika is this, and this is the Gunatita, or this is the Nirguna, like that. And there, that Nirguna is always who is devoted to me, who surrenders to me, like that. You read that 25th chapter of Bhagavatam, it is very good. 11th Skanda, 25th chapter. Beautifully they have discussed all the points. More or less same as 14th chapter, but it little different. Here this sloka says, Sattvikam Sukham Atmotham. If you want to write, you can write also. All may not have the Bhagavatam book. Sattvikam Sukham Atmotham. Sukham, if you write, actually it is with Sandhi. Sukham Atmotham. But you can write Sukham -Atmotham. That means whatever is a Sattvika Sukha, it is arising from the Atma, from our inmost self. That means it is, the generation is from within, not from the outer senses, bodily outer things. Atmotham means it is generated from the inmost depth, where our real identity is not generated by any of the outer sense organs or anything like that. Even from the mana, apamana of the mind, they are also outer sheath. It is from the inmost universal identity. Satvikam sukham atmotham vishayotham tu rajasam. Vishayotham, that means arising from the Vishaya, means from the objects, from the sensory objects. Vishayotham tu rajasam. That means Rajasa Sukha is Vishayotham, it is generating from the objects. In Bhagavad Gita they said between the contact of the senses and objects, it's the same thing. Tamasam moha dainyotham. Tamasam moha dainyotham. It is one word. Moha dainyotham. Tatha dainyotham. Tamilians and Malayalis will write dainotham. No. Dainotham. Tha. Double tha. Moha and dainya. That is a little different shade of Tamasam, that is Tamasam Sukham, where from it is arising? Moha Dainyotham. It is from Moha. That is Bhagavad Gita also said, it is from the delusion, delusional clinging. And Dainya. Dainya means poverty, but actually here Dainya means self-pity. That is, from poverty it will not arise. If just somebody is poor, it doesn't mean that he is Tamasa. It doesn't arise from poverty. It arises from poverty imposed on us. That is the self-pity we said. Deenata is actually self-pity. In Sanskrit also, Deenata means I behave like, oh, हमसे कुछ नहीं होगा, क्या हो गया, ये हो गया, हम कभी नहीं हो. The moment a Tamasika disciple, you correct something, he will start thinking that, oh, I am of no use. Then the correction will never come. Suppose by praising a disciple, the disciple feels that, oh, I am great, Swamiji has praised me. I am very great disciple. Then also, you will lose that guna, whatever has been praised. When the Guru praises, the meaning is that you should further enhance that quality. If your Guru has praised your attention or your some quality, it means that is a quality to be further cultivated and enhanced. Not to become egoistic that, oh, I am great. Similarly, when he has found out or he has pointed out some defect in you, then it is only the meaning is to remove that disqualification or the defect. If you feel that, oh, I am so bad, I am of no use, means he will never be able to correct that. You will remain in that. So, depression and elation, both are bad. That both will not be able to progress in your sadhana. Whatever, suppose it is a good quality pointed out, simply see at it, look at it, and I must cultivate it more. If it is a defect, oh, this also I have, I must get it out. With a completely even mind, we have to think like that. Oh, I have still that jealousy, how should I get out? No. I still have jealousy, let it go out. I don't want it. So, this is the tamasika characteristic. Dainotham, that self-pity, depression, these are the tamasika qualities. Tamasam moha dainotham nirgunam madapashrayam. Nirgunam madapashrayam. Mad apashrayam means one who has taken complete refuge in me, ashraya in me. One who has taken complete refuge in me. What will be his sukha? It is nirgunam. It is neither sattvika nor rajasika nor tamasika also. That's a nirguna sukha, gunatita sukha there. So in this Bhagavata chapter you will find everywhere they are saying what is the fourth one is the nirgunam or gunatitam. You have any questions? Otherwise I will go over to the next.
Something more about Nidra and Alasya. Is it physical or what?
Alasya is bodily, physical. Nidra is both physical, mental, all intelligential. Nidra means complete sleep when intelligence, mind, body are not functioning. So remaining absolutely idle. Alasya means physically idle. You can say mental idleness also to some extent. And pramada is basically mind and intelligence together. Inattention is just not the intelligence, mind also. Because the mind is haunted by other desire, we are becoming inattentive about what we are doing. Is it okay?
Single words for each to remember easily.
Huh?
Like Triti, each word, single words for each sukha.
Okay, just now I said, this gives all the things, you separate it into 4, that Sattvika Sukha is Atmottham. Then Rajasika Sukha is Vishayottham. Then Tamasika Sukha is Moha Dainyottham. And Nirguna Sukha, the ultimate, is from the Ashraya, surrender, coming from surrender. Madapashrayam. See that initially the sadhana is to get over the tamasika, rajasika sukha, which will always make us slave to the world, slave to the circumstances, by replacing them with the sattvika sukha, which is always inward. From inside it is generated long term and it will not make us generally slave. But it also makes us slave how? Sukha sangena badnati jnana sangena chanaga. That is sattvika sukha and sattvika jnana. This will come from the sattva guna. So that also is binding us. So how to reach the nirguna level? From there. That is the point. The ultimate is that nirguna sukha. That is the ultimate happiness. There we don't call it happiness at all. That is the truth. It is called ananda. Ananda word is not used in Bhagavad Gita. They have used sukha. But in our Upanishads and everywhere it is ananda. Then whether it is a dukkha situation, it is a bereavement, or whether it is a situation of prosperity or anything, it is all in ananda. Even the creation is taking place from ananda, the destruction also is in ananda. So actually in the nirguna level we pass over from the sattvika sukha to ananda. Anandat khalvimani bhutani jayante anandena jatani jivanti anandam pravishanti avisam vishanti. Taittiriya Upanishad. Anandat hi eva, anandat dhi eva, khalu imani, khalvimani, bhutani jayante. The whole creation is born of ananda. Anandena jatani jivanti. They are all living and getting born from ananda only. They are in ananda. Anandam pravishanti avisam vishanti. At the end they are entering the ananda and getting merged and dissolved in ananda alone. So ananda is when in the nirguna Brahman, that is there is no creation, nothing, there the creation is taking place. It is the ananda, it is all ananda only. So when we go to that level, anything in creation, destruction, as well as the good as well as bad, everything will give that ananda, because the whole universe is sustained by ananda. Now ananda is a feeling, is it not? How will you have the concept of ananda? Is it not a feeling? Ananda has to be felt. That is why we call it, we use various terms, atyantika sukham or bliss we use in English. It is not just ecstasy, it is a feeling of a joy of freedom from all the bondages of the creation of the world, everything. So it is there in destruction also. That is why Nataraja is dancing in Ananda. When the world is destroyed, Shiva is still dancing. Shiva represents our Atma. Shiva word means also Atma. When the Shiva goes, it becomes Shava, the body, dead body. So why Shiva is dancing in the destruction? That is the state of the Atma. So anybody who crosses all the bondages of the three gunas, he becomes Shiva. So he is equally delighted in destruction also. So death is as important as birth. He will not run away from death or be intolerant about death. Meaningful है क्या कुछ इसका? Rabindranath says, Je keho more diyecho sukho, diyecho tari porichoy, sabare ami nomi. Je keho more diyecho dukho, diyecho tari porichoy, sabare ami nomi. Those who have given me sukha, through that sukha, they have given, O Lord, your touch. Generally, sukha means we are bound to that what sukha, the eating sukha, this sukha, that sukha. So our sukha is only sense-oriented, mind-oriented, some preference, prejudice-oriented, chota-chota sukha. If you can get the Lord's touch through all sukha, then that sukha becomes the ananda. I prostrate before them, those who have given me sukha. Through that sukha they have given me, O Prabhu, O Lord, your touch. So I prostrate before them. Those who have given me dukkha, through that dukkha they have given me the touch of you, O Lord. So I prostrate before them also. Those who have betrayed or given you all the dukkha, through that dukkha also, because our focus is on that dukkha, so we are trying to avoid dukkha. We are fearing dukkha. But when you get the touch of the Lord, touch of the truth in that dukkha, will you fear dukkha then? You are getting the same Lord through that dukkha also. So it becomes, that is the real samatva. That the ananda, the joy is beneath sukha as well as dukkha. So you become a full also, you become purna, full, and fool also, a duck. Our Baba used to say, Paramahamsa means the great duck. Zero. Then he sings, those who have taken something away from me, those who have gone away from me, by that going, they have taken me closer to you. O Lord, I prostrate before them. Whatever has come to me, they have brought your touch to me through their coming to me. So I prostrate before them. That is how about quite a few stanzas are there. Je keho more besheche bhalo, jeleche ghare tomari alo. Those who have loved me, it is not a small selfish love. Those who have loved me, by their love they have lit a lamp in your shrine. Jeleche ghare tomari alo. In my room they have lit a lamp, your lamp, by their love. Shavare aminomi. I have forgotten. Any question? We will not go further, or I can go one more shloka also, then it will be a new chapter. After these divisions, I think here it ends. All the divisions we started from last year in the 18th chapter, jnana, sattvika jnana, rajasika jnana, tamasika jnana, then karma, what is sattvika karma, rajasika karma, tamasika karma, then karta, who is a sattvika doer, rajasika doer, tamasika doer. It will be good if you collect all the sattvika. Say, who is the sattvika karma? What is the sattvika karma? Who is the sattvika karta? Like that, all have been defined in 18th chapter. The guna, 3 gunas they have defined in the 14th chapter. And 18 they have defined all. Karta, jnanam, karmacha, kartacha. Then we have come to the jnanam, karta, karma. Then we have come to buddhi, dhriti and sukha. These are the divisions. Then the next verse is saying, Na tadasti prithivyam va
न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा
दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः
दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः
सत्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तं
सत्वं प्रकृतिजैर्मुक्तं
यदेभिः स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणैः
यदेभिः स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणैः
न तदस्ति पृथिव्यां वा दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः. In this earth, on this earth, Prithvi mein, Divi Deveshu, even in the heaven or the other worlds also, nowhere in creation, that means other worlds are also creation. Nowhere in creation, na tadasti, there is nothing which is not a combination of the three gunas. Sattvam, here sattvam is not sattva guna, don't make a mistake. Sattvam means anything that exists is called sattva. This is not the sattva guna. Existence is sattva. Anything, any entity, thing or entity becomes material. It is need not be. Even thought also, it is made of the three gunas. Sattvam prakritijair muktam yadevhi syat tribhir gunaihi. The Prakriti is made of, the nature is made of these three gunas. These are the three modes which constitute nature. So there cannot be any creation, anything in nature which is not constituted of these three gunas. Why he is saying? Because in Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga or understanding this, we may think that becoming knower is, he will not be made of the gunas. So he is correcting that don't think that the creation, any creation can be there without all the three gunas being there. But what will be there is that he can get over the bondage created by the each guna. This has to be understood very well. Even scientifically also this is not possible. Why? Because this tamoguna represents inertia. Rajoguna represents energy, motion. And Sattva-guna represents revelation. Consciousness means revealing power, revelation. Now if suppose anything in the world is there, no creation is possible without the energy. The first particle also, particle or wave or whatever you say, any creation, existence means it is a product of energy only. Without energy there cannot be any creation. Second point is that anything created will not be possible unless it has an inertia. Inertia means, suppose even the very fast dying elementary particle, maybe 10 to the power 20 seconds or so, it is lifespan. But it will have a certain lifespan. That is the inertia. That is, it is held as existent for a certain time. That is called the inertia there. It might be rest mass, it can be the other mass also. That is the energy equivalent mass. Energy means corresponding there will be an inertia also. That tamoguna. Without tamoguna, no existence can be there. And sattvaguna, why? Because any existence, if it is not revealed to us, we don't know. There can be so many other worlds. There can be antimatter world or some other world. Right here also it could be, we don't come to know. Suppose here there is another kind of an universe, how will you know? Because our senses are restricted to only the 5 senses and some other, some instrumental extensions and all. So any existence has to have a certain time of living, that is inertia, has to have some energy in it, without that it will not be possible, and has to be revealed. Without that it will not be possible. Even if it exists, it is meaningless to us. It has to reveal. It has to be revealed. So these three gunas represent the fundamental modes of nature which makes existence possible.